let's hope the mic is going to be our friend today and not be too quiet. All right. We are on the road to Bound for Glory here. We're 46 days away. We have 2 matches pre-booked for this Impact tonight, so looking forward to seeing how that goes. We had 2 former champions, or 2 new champions in our last show, with Ken Shamrock beating Scott Hall for the TNA title, and 3 Live Crew winning the tag belts from America's Most Wanted. We did make a couple of big signings as well. That'll be debuting soon. We can't use them yet, but they will be coming soon. So let's get right to the next Impact. Impact number 10. Post 2 title changes. So we'll see. We're just barely over a month away from Bound for Glory. We're so close. A lot of stuff about to go down in this save once we hit the fall. We have Scott Hall and Buff Bagwell's contracts coming up in November. WWE has a bunch of guys coming up for deals as well, so we'll see if we can swipe any of them to bring in. So there's a lot to kind of unpack here. Alright, we're almost at 600 fans per show now, so that's good. We got some creative finishes. Okay, let's try to get some angles. A storyline idea. Perfect, that'll work. Likely to succeed. That's interesting. Okay. Locker room incidents. What do we got? Natty wants to be... Okay, we'll negotiate a one-night deal with Natty. She can wrestle Alexis. See how that goes. What else we got? Low-key got into an argument with AJ Styles. Dave Finlay helped Alexis train. And we're good. Absent workers. Who do we not have tonight? Alright, just our 2 signings. That's cool. Alright, so let's do our opening video package like usual. Get that going here. We'll do that as a minute. Pre-taped. AJ Styles. Now we have new tag champs, so we'll see what that's going to mean now. Nope. Jarrett, yes. Jerry Lynn, yes. Shamrock, yes. Conan, yes. Mount Killings, yes. Scott Hall, yes. That's it. Okay. So that's that. Alright, let's do a video package recapping. Recap of the 2 title changes last week. I love how every loud car drives by when I'm trying to stream, but that's fine. So we had BG James, Conan, James Storm, Chris Harris, Scott Hall, and Ken Shamrock. And that'll be Dusty. Alright, so we got that situated now. We'll hear from Shamrock later in the night. Let's open the show. I think we have Ultimo Dragon for this show, right? We do, alright. Let's do Ultimo Dragon versus... Let's do Alex Wright. Ultimo Dragon now back with the company after being injured. Give him a nice win right off the rip here. Get him back in the fold. I would love to put eventually the X title on him. I don't know when that would be, but I loved me Ultimo Dragon growing up, so Alright, so there's that. Let's do a quick little thing here. Promo. So now that Stamboli's gone, Guido and Mamaluke will now be the team of FBI. Isn't exactly what we wanted to do, but it is what it is. Okay. I'll give that to Scarred Armstrong. Pre-booking. I want America's Most Wanted to be very aggressive here. I'll give this to Jerry Lynn. I want them to win. Actually, I want... If Tony Mamaluke can get the win here, and I'll explain why we're doing this. No. Tainted Wind, Flash Pinfall, Distraction Finish, James Storm by BG James. And that's going to help us advance the tag title storyline. Yep, there we go. Now America's Most Wanted has lost twice by being outsmarted by the Real Life Crew. So that's exactly what we want there. Let's do, what's the other pre-booking we have? Buff and Run Killings, okay. Let me see. When we had Buff face him last time, what did they get? 61, okay. We're going to hear from Ken Shamrock here. Nothing really crazy here. I just want him to talk. 3 minutes in the ring. Hopefully he doesn't suck at cutting a promo here. Scott Hall is going to be off camera because he's not here, obviously. And that's the TNA title. Cool. That's going to be Dusty. Yep, there we go. Let's go into our next matchup, which will be, we have Christopher Daniels, right? Okay, we'll do that after this. Let's do, I want Monty Brown on the live show, which he's a heel, babyface, okay. Let's give him a win over we'll put him against David Young. Hopefully Monty Brown can showcase himself here enough to get a win that's not horrible on the real show now that we're going to start featuring him a little bit. Try to get something going there. Okay, I want to do a backstage promo. Punk and Cabana. Trying to get as much of these young guys over as we can. That'll work. Yeah, let's do 2v2 here. CM Punk, Colt Cabana. They're gonna face Joey and Christian York. Minutes. Let's give that to Finley. Alright, let's keep these guys strong. Yeah, let's do that. Pinfall. go. Do we have someone AJ can beat as a local worker? Let's see. Anybody who's not absolute garbage. Not really. Everybody's either really old or not a good wrestler. Okay, none of that's gonna work. Backstage with Naturals. Andy Douglas faces AJ Styles next. So we got a little bit next level with this now. Hopefully this keeps it going. So we need AJ off camera. Character development. There we go. Yes. And X title and cool. Let's do the triple threat match here. It should get a pretty good rating. Christopher Daniels, Austin Aries, and Frankie Kazarian. Let's give that some time. I want Daniels come out on top on that one. Keep Aries and Frankie strong. Clean win, pinfall. Let's get backstage segment. Abyss Mitchell promo. Let's try that. And then Jarry Land off screen. Shot. Brawl starts with Abyss until security arrives. And make that be 3 minutes. Alright, that can all go to Finley there. Let's give AJ, let's do next week Scott Hall returns to address his loss of TNA title. Okay, that's outside broadcast, pre-taped. Okay, we got that. Cool, cool. Let's do a quick singles match for AJ. He can wrestle. Give him Loki. Oh, that's not right. AJ. AJ post-match promo. AJ wants his next opponent to step up. 2 minutes post. There we go. Give that to Dave Finlay. Nice. Let Ron Killings. Killings backstage promo on his match with Buff Bagwell. Pre-taped. Let's go Ron. There we go. Alright, this match is going to be like 9 minutes. And we're going to have Buff get the win here. He's going to win by cheating. And that's how we're going to end our show. We do need to do a couple pre-show matches here. Let's see, we have a triple threat. Keep everybody strong here. Oh. There we go. Pre-show. And then our second pre-show triple threat will be Ken Anderson and Jimmy or Eric Young. Don't care who wins this. Okay. All right, let's get to our first show here of Impact number 10 on our way to Bound for Glory. Let's go now. Let's keep it going. All right, all 30s for the girls here, so not too bad. Okay, not bad. We're getting better with these three guys, getting their ratings higher, so we're getting somewhere with them. Alright, let's get to the main show here. So our opening show package, like usual, all the main stars of TNA. We replaced the tag champs with BG James and Conan. 56 rating on that there. We opened the show with a pre-taped video recapping what happened last week, where 3 Live Crew were able to outsmart America's Most Wanted for the tag team titles, and then Ken Shamrock made Scott Hall pass out to win the TNA title. And about that decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Ultimo Dragon wins his debut against Alex Wright in 6 minutes with an Asai DDT. Wrestling of 47, crowd of 20, segment 49. 2 former WCW Cruiserweight champions here. Ultimo Dragon does get the win, though. Backstage, we got Guido and the FBI, the new looked FBI, now that Johnny Stamboli is gone. He cuts a promo saying that him and Mamaluke are now the new tag team of the FBI, with Smothers being the muscle. 49 rating there. Oh, wow. And about that, good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. The full-blooded Italians defeat America's Most Wanted following a distraction from BG James of 3 Live Crew. Wrestling rating of 55, crowd of 33, segment of 57, Mamaluke of 46, Guido of 62, America's Most Wanted with 55 average. Storylines have advanced. Both teams have great tag team chemistry. This is just furthering America's Most Wanted issues with 3 Live Crew now that they've lost their tag belts. Now 3 Live Crew caused them to be distracted and lose to the FBI. We get Ken Shamrock in ring talking about his win last week, winning the TNA title over Scott Hall. Just a quick little 3-minute promo there. Monty Brown makes his Impact debut as he defeats David Young in 7 minutes with an Alpha Bomb. Wrestling rating of 47, crowd of 29, segment 48. Monty Brown with a 51 rating, David Young 44, not too bad. Monty Brown gets his first win on Impact. Backstage promo from the Second City Saints. Just wanted to get them to cut a promo here, trying to get those skills up a little bit more for them. And about had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, the Second City Saints defeat the Bad Street Boys in 8 minutes when CM Punk pinned Christian York. Wrestling of 49, crowd of 20, segment of 50. Cabana of 47, Punk of 50, York of 51, Matthews of 46. Obviously, all the green means excellent chemistry amongst everybody here. Backstage, we have Alexis LeRae talking about, next week, Andy Douglas will have a match against AJ Styles for the TNA title. So she's making moves for these guys. She's giving them opportunities to face, either champions or former champions. So Andy Douglas will get his shot at the TNA X title next week. So that's a nice little match we'll have next week. We got a great triple threat match here and about that had great wrestling and decent match from the crowd. Christopher Daniels defeats Austin Aries and Frankie Kazarian in a 3-way match in 9:38 when Daniels pins Kazarian with the last rights. Wrestling rating of 57, crowd of 27, segment 58. All guys with high 50s here. Great stuff out of everybody involved. This is like my core X Division guys here. Backstage, we have Abyss and James Mitchell cutting a promo. And then Jerry Lynn shows up in the background and attacks Abyss from behind, and the brawl is on. Jerry Lynn is going after Abyss and it's not trying to stop. Abyss is pushing him off, but security swarms in and is finding a way to get in between these two. Obviously, these two are on a collision course for Bound for Glory. What will happen next with these two guys? Next week, Scott Hall returns to address his loss to Ken Shamrock and what that means for him chancing after the TNA title. AJ Styles defeats Low-Ki with a great wrestling and decent match from the crowd. AJ beats Low-Ki in 8 minutes with a Styles Clash. Wrestling of 61, crowd of 32, segment of 62. Good non-title match. AJ post-match wants his next challenger to step up. He knows he has an X title match next week against Andy Douglas, so we'll see what happens there. Ron Killings cuts a backstage promo on his match with Buff Bagwell. He's ready to prove that he's not just any old gangster, and that he's going to put the Buff with the stuff down. Is it not going to load? Okay, there we go. And in our main event, and about that good wrestling and decent match from the crowd, Buff Bagwell defeats Ron Killings in 9:22 by pinfall when using the ropes for leverage. Wrestling rating of 56, crowd of 40, 61 segment there. Buff with a 48, Ron with a 63. Storyline has advanced and gained heat. Oh, I love when I have stupid things like this. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now we're good. 61 rating there. Let's put a finish to the show here. Let's see what we get. 62. We increased our popularity in 12 regions again. Not bad at all. Not bad. We had some new guys on the show. We brought Ultimo Dragon onto the show. The new look full-blooded Italians looked good. Monty Brown made his Impact debut. So a lot of stuff here that we're definitely in the right direction. Did we gain any popularity? We did. Southeast up to 43. Northwest, New England, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Great Lakes all up to 27 now. So we are growing, ladies and gentlemen. We are growing. while this is loading, I just want to reach back out to my... Continuing. Alright. Now that that's all squared. Alright. Let's see what we got here. That was awesome. Cool. Natty Neidhart did pretty good. We're still getting over 100,000, so that's good. Hopefully Noah here's not signing him to a written deal. Let's hope not. Let's see. Handshake. Cool. That works. You can offer him to that. That's fine. Alright. Alright, cool. So we keep pushing here. Let's keep it going. Let's try to get to the end of August. Oh, that a boy, Ryan. I'm very excited to see what my Bound for Glory is going to look like, ratings-wise. I already know kind of what it's going to look like show-wise. I'm interested to see what it's going to be with that. Jim Ross is the best color play-by-play commentator, and yeah, well, we already figured that. Ryan, which what's it called? Which mod are you using? $75 though is a great great rating. We still haven't gotten out of the 60s yet, but I'll still take 60 ratings on where we're at with this roster. Using the all begin. Oh, the 04 one. Okay. Weird. I don't know why that's not updating. Okay. All begins mod. I like that mod a lot. I love 2004 in wrestling. 02 to like 05 was like my favorite 3 or 4 years of like being a kid and enjoying wrestling. I love when this is loading, taking its sweet time. I want to try to get through at least September here, or at least into September. Ooh, Tony Mamaluke's injured. Oh, just a few days. We're fine. Okay. Abdullah the Butcher is out of All Japan. Seems like a issue there. Alright, nothing crazy to talk about there. Next day. I just got into 05. Starting 05, bringing in a women's division. I brought All Japan. Oh, there you go. I'll say right now, my company, I have Gail Kim and Alexis Leray, which is Mickey James. They're the only two women we've used, and then we did a one-day show, or one-day contract with Natty Neidhart just to see where she was at. Yeah, I'm a couple years away from doing a women's division. But Gail Kim is going to manage who she's dating in this game, so that'll at least put her on screen, and then Alexis, we're trying to do something with her with the Naturals, just trying to get that to be something. just to add depth to characters, but we shall see. All right. Yeah, Ultimate Dragon agreed to with Noah, but it's only a handshake deal, so we're good there. Doesn't kill us at all, so that's good. What an interesting faction. The Rock, Chris Benoit, Tajiri, and Perry Saturn. Okay. What an interesting faction that is. All right. Let's see what's next for us to deal with here. We're still upgrading our merchandise, so the good news is by the time we get into 2003, we should have a crazy merchandise situation. Kurt Hennig was sent home. Did they send him? Did they release him? No, they just sent him home. Okay. All right. SummerSlam. All right. The Undertaker defeated Edge to retain the undisputed title. Booker T defeated RVD for the IC. Triple H defeated Kurt Angle in a cage match. Benoit and The Rock defeated the NWO by DQ. Regal defeated Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels for the European title. Jericho defeated Christian. Kane defeated Raven. Hurricane defeated Tajiri for the Cruiserweight title. Trish Stratus defeated the Fabulous Moolah for the women's title in a first blood match. Bubba Ray Dudley and the Destroyers defeated Rikishi, Billy, and Chuck. And Lita defeated Jazz. Yikes. What an interesting SummerSlam that is. Okay. Our next Impact is in 2 days, so let's get to that. When does this get renegotiated? December. Okay. I have to figure out how to... no. Oh, okay. Alright, so we'll figure that out when we get there, I guess. Alright, next day. Alright, what do we think here? How do we want to do this? I think I'm going to set up that Scott Hall's going to call his shot for Bound for Glory. That'll be the first match officially announced for Bound for Glory. Yeah, we got a lot to do over the month of September here. We have 5 impacts before Bound for Glory. We'll have Jeff Jarrett return as well. Let's see. Injury for Flair. He's fine. Rikishi versus Raven. D'Lo Brown sidelined. Hysterical blindness. Okay. Alright. Nigel got signed by ASW. That's fine. What is ASW? Okay. I don't understand why he's not able to negotiate with us. Oh, I see. He's touring. Okay. That's cool. Alright, 12% for that. We still got a long way to go for that. Damn. Let's see if what we can move around here. Try to get this next impact to be a higher rating. Back to 100%. Good, good. El Zorro. They can keep him. Shane McMahon X-Pac. That's not good for Mr. X-Pac. That's SmackDown do. Not much. Okay. They only got 81. Like, we're not that far off from being in the ballpark of them. If we just get a couple things rolling. Alright. Let's keep doing Universal for our venue. Booking team. I'm just going to keep using Big Gamble. That's bad. We don't want that. Bit of a gamble. No, don't want that. Likely to succeed. We'll take that. Okay. Cassidy O'Reilly's turned up. Sure, you can hang out. Christian York getting in arguments with AJ Styles. 2 referees are getting along. Guido and Mark Johnson got. Ultimo Dragon gave me an enhancing his character thing. Okay. Cool. Nothing too crazy there. And we have everybody again, so... Opening video package. So, I mean, if we have everybody, then we can hopefully make this show as good as we can. Alright, let's do the opening video package, get that done. Cool. Alright, so there's that. We're going to open the show with Scott Hall. Bound for Glory. So Scott Hall is calling his shot. Gonna give him 4 minutes in the ring. Scott Hall is announcing that he is going to try to go after his belt again at Bound for Glory. There we go. That's how we're going to open the show here. Let's open with an X Division match here. This should be a good rating. Low Key versus Ultimo Dragon. That's a hell of a match if I've ever seen one. I want to give them some time. I'll let Ultimo Dragon win this one. Keep Low Key strong though. Like Ultimo Dragon in his prime versus Low Key sounds like money. backstage. Backstage promo on Abyss. Trying to get that feud up and rolling as well. Okay. Give that to Ricky. Because we want Jerry Lynn to win his match here on Impact. So Jerry Lynn, I need a heel. I'm gonna have you beat Devon Storm. Looks good. Even I heard that. Alright, so Mitchell and Abyss are going to accept Jerry Lynn's challenge for Bound for Glory. There we go. So that's all good. Alright, we'll put Jeff Jarrett's going to return next week. Nothing crazy there, but we're going to start setting up his Bound for Glory stuff. Okay. Fuming backstage. They're pissed. They want to do their whole thing with 3 Live Crew. Now add a copy. 3 Live Crew. In. Working, and then let's get Dusty in there. Dusty announces next week. Rematch is on. For tag belts. So that's what we're going to do. Next week, the tag titles will be back on the line. America's Most Wanted is going to get their shot again at 3 Live Crew. Okay. Let's go into the X title match. We'll give this 8 to 10. AJ's obviously going to win this one. Post-match, I want Daniels. That way we can get Daniels and AJ going at it for the X title. AJ's the victim here. All right. Give that to Jerry Lynn. Promo. See how this goes. I'm gonna have Dusty interrupt him though. Working the crowd. Hi. Do you want to come in here?
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Oops, no stunt bumps. There we go. Advanced storyline with you and with you. Okay, we're at 53 minutes. We got time to kill here for this show. Let's do. Is Austin Aries recognizable yet? Yes. Alright, that's what we wanted. You're gonna face Chris Sabin. Give you 8 to 10 on that one. Finley can be our road agent. So Aries and Chris Sabin have a nice little deal there. What else can we do? What else can we do? Nothing there, nothing there. No, okay. Gonna do back-to-back matches. We usually don't do that, but that's fine. We'll do back-to-back here. Exclude already booked. Oh, Monty's not in a match yet. We'll put Monty versus Tracy Smoothers. Hopefully this isn't horrible. Get Monty a win. And then that's backstage promo. He isn't done with Buff. Pre-taped. Alright, cutting a promo. Buff is off screen. Advance our storyline here. Dusty, yep, cool. And then we'll do Shamrock. There's Buff for the main event here. This is going to be on purposely booked like a madman, so let's do. Keep everybody strong here. Outside interference finish. Advanced storylines there. Advanced storylines there. Yes. And then post-match. Holds up TNA title. That's how we're going to end the show. Dusty. Advance the storyline. Alright, let's get right to the show here. Impact number 11. So again, we're doing our opening video package with all of our stars of TNA, like usual. Scott Hall calls his shot, so we are going to pre-book our first match for Bound for Glory, which is October 6th in 2002 here, where it's going to be Scott Hall versus Ken Shamrock for the TNA Championship. It's his rematch clause that he's using, so we'll see how that goes. 83 on the promo, though. We take that all day long from Scott. Low-Key and Ultimo Dragon about to have great wrestling and decent match from the crowd. Ultimo Dragon defeats Low-Key in 10 minutes with an aside DDT. Wrestling of 58, crowd of 26, overall 58 rating. Both guys with the high 50s on their ratings there. Good stuff here out of the X Division. We get a backstage promo from Jerry Lynn, laying down the challenge to Abyss and Mitchell for Bound for Glory. See if we can get that match all set up for our biggest show of the year. Well, our first pay-per-view, really. Alright, let's see. It's going to cooperate, maybe. And a decent match. Jerry Lynn defeats Devin Storm in 7:04 by pinfall with a cradle pile driver. Wrestling of 51, crowd of 34, segment 52. Lynn of 57, Storm of 44. Commentary lifted the match. Not bad. Post-match, Abyss and James Mitchell come out and do accept Jerry Lynn's challenge for Bound for Glory. So we already got 2 matches now booked for Bound for Glory coming up. And 2 pretty solid matches, Jerry Lynn and Abyss and the TNA title match. So far so good on our ratings here. 51 on that one. Jeff Jarrett will return next week on Impact. What will Jeff Jarrett have to say now that the TNA title match is made for Bound for Glory? What will Jeff Jarrett do, and what is coming next for Jeff? We get a backstage segment, which is kind of a schmooze, but America's Most Wanted is cutting a promo backstage, all pissed off. 3 Live Crew kind of walks in on them, kind of makes fun of them, to the point where Dusty Rhodes has to step in and announces that next week on Impact, it'll be a TNA Tag Team title rematch between 3 Live Crew and America's Most Wanted. And Dusty Rhodes does put as a caveat in this match, this will be the final time that these 2 teams face off head-to-head for the tag team titles. So we'll see what happens there. Tag titles. That's going to be our main event next week. That's going to be a good one. Andy Douglas and AJ Styles, and about that great wrestling and decent match from the crowd. AJ defeats Andy Douglas in 7:08 with a Styles Clash. Defense number 6 for AJ. Wrestling of 58, crowd 35, segment 60. Andy Douglas with a 47, AJ with a 68. Post-match, AJ wanted to have someone step up, and Daniels lays out AJ Styles with the angel wings, lays him out in the middle of the ring. So Daniels has laid his claim. He wants the X Division title. We get a backstage promo, or sorry, in-ring promo from Buff Bagwell, talking about his win last week over on Ron Killings. Dusty Rhodes comes out and interrupts and says, "It was a solid win, I'll give you that, but tonight, Buff, you're in the main event in a non-title match against Ken Shamrock." Buff seems kind of about that, but 59 rating on that. We continue the feud with Buff and Ron Killings. And about that good wrestling and decent action from Little Heat, Austin Aries defeats Chris Sabin in 7:55 by pinfall. Wrestling of 53, crowd was an 18, segment 54. This is strictly just because popularity's not there yet, but we're getting there. And about that decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Monty Brown defeats Tracy Smothers in 7:16 with an alpha bomb. 42 wrestling, crowd 21, 45 segment. Monty Brown is officially entering the 50s on in-ring performance, though. We get a backstage promo from Ron Killings, says he is far from done with Buff Bagwell after last week's situation, and that he will get his hands on Buff Bagwell tonight. And in our main event, and about to have great heat and good wrestling, Buff Bagwell defeats Ken Shamrock in 12 minutes when Shamrock's disqualified when Ron Killings runs in and attacks Buff Bagwell. Wrestling of 55, crowd of 53, segment of 58. And to end our show, Scott Hall lays out Ken Shamrock and holds up the TNA title to end TNA Impact. Let's see what we can get for a rating here. This has got to be probably mid-60s. Yep, 64. This show increased our popularity in 12 regions again, which is good. Let's see if we can get a little bit more popularity increase going forward. There it is. Southwest and Tri-State and Mid-South are now 28s. So that's awesome. Get them into the mid-30s. We can start really doing some more stuff with that. All right, solid stuff. Let's get to the end of August here, and then we will see where we're at. But we're just barely over a month away from Bound for Glory. We got 2 matches ready to go for it, so it's going to be a good time. It's going to be good. All right. Oh, WWE extension rumor. Who is it? Tony Chimmel. They can keep him. I don't need him. Ultimate Dragon doesn't connect. I am not going to write him off. No. Viewing figures. Aye. Alright, let's get to the end of August here. And it is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today, but that's alright. Should have some WWE deals coming up, but I'm trying to build my own kind of roster here, but it's inevitable that we'll eventually end up adding some of them. AAA, Granda, no, I can keep him. Alright, next day. This should be the end of August right here. Let's see what we got here. Try to see how the end of August or end of July, August is gonna look here. Oh, one more day. Okay. Nothing really here. Okay. Let's get to September 1st. All right, let's see if who's going to become available here. Let's go. Come on, give me someone good as a free agent as an option. I mean, we have 2 guys coming in that'll be very helpful, but all right, let's see. Damn, okay. Nothing crazy here. Oh, wow, not really much to... All right, we officially have Steiner now. So that's good. We can start building that. Let's go here. News. Okay, who has entered wrestling? Not many people. No one to really report. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do, like I said, this is not gonna be a long one today, but we're gonna probably set one up for tomorrow for a stream. We're probably gonna go back to playing the baseball one. But I appreciate you guys, and we'll be back, like I said, tomorrow at some point for the baseball game. So look forward to that, and I'll see you then.